The morning air was crisp at St. Andrews University in Scotland as Catherine Middleton walked across the cobblestone courtyard, her books clutched tightly against her chest. She had no idea that this ordinary Tuesday would change the course of her entire life. The year was 2001, and Kate was just another student trying to navigate her way through art history lectures and the social complexities of university life. Prince William, meanwhile, was experiencing something he had rarely felt before: normalcy. For the first time in his life, he could walk around relatively unnoticed, thanks to an agreement between the royal family and the British press to give him space during his university years. The weight of his future responsibilities seemed lighter here, surrounded by ancient stone buildings and fellow students who, while aware of his identity, treated him with a casual respect that felt refreshing. Kate had grown up in a middle-class family in Bucklebury, Berkshire. Her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, had built a successful party supply business from the ground up. The family valued hard work, education, and staying grounded despite their growing wealth. Kate's childhood was filled with outdoor adventures, family holidays, and the kind of stability that would later prove invaluable when she entered the intense world of royal scrutiny. The Middleton family home was warm and welcoming, with evidence of the children's achievements proudly displayed throughout. Kate excelled in sports, particularly field hockey and tennis, and showed an early interest in art and photography. Her parents encouraged their children to pursue their passions while maintaining strong family bonds. Sunday dinners were sacred, and even as the children grew older, they made efforts to return home regularly. William's path to St. Andrews had been different. After completing his A-levels at Eton College, he had taken a gap year that included time in Chile and Africa. These experiences had opened his eyes to the world beyond palace walls and reinforced his desire to make a meaningful contribution to society. When he chose St. Andrews over more traditional Royal University choices, it surprised many observers, but delighted those who knew him personally. The prince had initially planned to study art history, a decision that would prove fateful. The small class sizes at St. Andrews meant that students got to know each other well, and it was in these intimate academic settings that William and Kate first began to interact. Their initial conversations were about assignments, upcoming deadlines, and shared observations about their professors' quirks. Kate noticed William's genuine enthusiasm for learning and his ability to engage thoughtfully with complex topics. Unlike some of their peers who seemed intimidated by his presence, she treated him as she would any classmate. This natural approach was refreshing for William, who had grown tired of people either fawning over him or being so nervous around him that normal conversation became impossible. Their friendship developed slowly, built on shared interests and mutual respect. They discovered they both loved outdoor activities, had similar senses of humor, and shared a deep appreciation for privacy. Kate's friends noticed that she never gossiped about William or tried to leverage their friendship for attention, something that distinguished her from others who had attempted to get close to the prince. The university environment allowed their relationship to develop organically. They studied together in the library, joined the same water polo team, and began spending time together outside of academic settings. Their friends could see a natural chemistry developing, but both William and Kate seemed content to let things progress at their own pace. Kate's roommates were among the first to notice the signs of a deeper connection. She would return from study sessions with William with a subtle glow, and she began taking extra care with her appearance before their group gatherings. However, she remained remarkably discreet about her feelings, never seeking attention or trying to make their friendship into something more dramatic than it was. William, for his part, was experiencing something entirely new. Previous relationships had been complicated by the constant awareness of his royal status and the implications of any romantic involvement. With Kate, he felt a sense of ease and authenticity that he had rarely experienced. She challenged his opinions in class discussions, laughed at his jokes without seeming to force it, and maintained her own interests and friendships independent of their growing connection. The transformation from friendship to something deeper happened gradually during their second year. They had both matured significantly since arriving at university, and their shared experiences had created a foundation of trust and understanding. Kate's steady presence in William's life had become something he looked forward to and depended upon. Their first kiss happened during a quiet evening in William's dormitory room. They had been studying for an upcoming exam, surrounded by textbooks and notes, when the conversation had drifted to more personal topics. The moment felt natural and unforced, a culmination of months of growing attraction and emotional intimacy. Neither of them announced the change in their relationship status to their friends immediately. It felt too precious and private to share right away. Kate's parents had raised her to be independent and self-sufficient, qualities that serve her well as she navigated the early stages of dating a future king. She never lost sight of her own goals and ambitions, continuing to excel in her studies and maintain her friendships. This balance impressed William, who had seen other relationships crumble under the pressure of royal expectations. The secrecy surrounding their relationship added both excitement and stress. They had to be careful about public displays of affection and coordinate their schedules to avoid unwanted attention. Kate learned to navigate the complex world of royal protocol while maintaining her authentic self, a balancing act that would define much of their relationship. Their fellow students were remarkably discreet about the royal romance blossoming in their midst. The unspoken agreement to protect William's privacy extended to protecting Kate as well, creating a bubble of normalcy that allowed their relationship to develop without external pressures. As their romance deepened, both William and Kate began to understand the long-term implications of their feelings for each other. Kate started to grasp the reality of what life might look like if their relationship continued to progress. The weight of potential future responsibilities was daunting, but her strong family foundation and natural resilience gave her the confidence to face these challenges. William found himself sharing more of his world with Kate, discussing his concerns about his future role and his desire to modernize certain aspects of royal tradition. Kate listened without judgment and offered thoughtful perspectives that helped him think through complex issues. Her practical nature and common sense became invaluable to him as he wrestled with the expectations placed upon him. The couple's first major test came during university holidays when they had to maintain their relationship while apart. The distance forced them to communicate more deeply and rely on trust and commitment rather than the easy intimacy of daily proximity. These separations, while difficult, strengthened their bond and proved that their connection extended beyond the unique environment of university life. Kate's introduction to William's family circle happened gradually and informally. She met other young royals and family friends in casual settings, allowing her to adjust slowly to the different social dynamics and expectations. Her natural warmth and genuine interest in others helped her navigate these potentially intimidating situations with grace and authenticity. The media remained largely unaware of their relationship during their university years, allowing them to experience a normal young romance without the intense scrutiny that would later define their public life together. This period of privacy was invaluable in establishing the strong foundation that would carry them through future challenges. Their relationship faced its first real crisis during their final year at university. The pressure of impending graduation and uncertainty about their future paths created tension that tested their commitment to each other. They had to make decisions about career goals, living arrangements, and the pace at which they wanted their relationship to progress. Kate's decision to move to London after graduation was influenced by her desire to be closer to William, but she was determined to establish her own career and maintain her independence. She found work in fashion and retail, using her art history background and natural sense of style to build professional credibility outside of her relationship with William. The transition from university life to the real world marked a new chapter in their relationship. They had to learn to navigate their romance while dealing with career pressures, family expectations, and the growing awareness that their privacy would not last forever. The strength of their foundation, built during those formative university years, became the bedrock that would sustain them through everything that followed. Their love story was becoming something extraordinary, not because it involved royalty, but because it demonstrated the power of genuine connection, mutual respect, and shared values. The ordinary girl from Berkshire and the future king had found in each other something rare and precious that would ultimately touch the hearts of millions around the world. The paparazzi photographer crouched behind a parked car, his telephoto lens trained on the entrance of Kate Middleton's London apartment building. It was 2004, and the secret was finally out. After years of careful discretion, the relationship between Prince William and the girl from Berkshire had become public knowledge, and with that revelation came a storm that would test every aspect of their bond. Kate stepped out of the building that morning, her hair catching the autumn sunlight as she made her way to work. The flash of cameras erupted around her like lightning, and she felt her heart racing as photographers called out her name, asking invasive questions about her relationship with William. This was her new reality, and nothing could have prepared her for the intensity of it. The media attention was unlike anything the royal family had experienced since Diana's death. Kate was photographed constantly, her every outfit analyzed, her family background scrutinized, and her worthiness to date the future king debated in newspapers and magazines around the world. The pressure was overwhelming, and many wondered if this ordinary young woman could handle the extraordinary circumstances she now faced. William watched helplessly as the woman he loved became the target of relentless media attention. He remembered all too well the pain his mother had endured at the hands of the press, and he was determined to protect Kate from suffering the same fate. He issued stern warnings through palace officials, but the appetite for stories about the royal romance seemed insatiable. Kate's family rallied around her during this difficult period. Her parents, Michael and Carol, had always been her anchors, and they provided the stability and support she desperately needed. They advised her to stay true to herself, maintain her dignity, and remember that this attention, while overwhelming, was temporary. Their modest family home in Bucklebury became a sanctuary where Kate could escape the madness and remember who she was beneath all the speculation and scrutiny. The constant attention began to take its toll on Kate's daily life. Simple activities like grocery shopping or meeting friends for coffee became complicated operations requiring careful planning and often resulted in unwanted photographs appearing in the next day's newspapers. She had to learn to live under a microscope, knowing that every expression, every gesture, and every choice would be interpreted and analyzed by millions of strangers. William's military training at Sandhurst provided some respite from the media circus, but it also created new challenges for their relationship. The demanding schedule and strict protocols meant they had limited time together, and when they did meet, they had to be even more careful about privacy. Kate found herself attending events alone, facing questions about William's absence while maintaining a composed exterior that betrayed none of her private concerns. The fashion industry took notice of Kate's style, and everything she wore was immediately copied and discussed. Her influence on fashion trends was becoming apparent, but this attention felt more like a burden than a blessing. She had always enjoyed clothes and had a natural sense of style, but now every choice carried weight and meaning she never intended. Their relationship faced its most serious challenge, yet when rumors of a possible breakup began circulating in early 2007. The pressure of constant scrutiny, combined with William's military commitments and uncertainty about their future, had created strain that was becoming difficult to manage. Both were young people trying to figure out their paths in life, while dealing with pressures that most couples never face. The temporary separation that followed was painful for both of them, but it proved to be a crucial period of growth and reflection. Kate used this time to focus on her career and personal development, while William completed his military training and considered what kind of life he wanted to build. The break gave them perspective on what they meant to each other and what they were willing to sacrifice to be together. Kate's strength during this period surprised many observers. Instead of crumbling under the pressure or seeking sympathy, she maintained her dignity and grace. She continued working, spending time with friends, and pursuing her interests. This resilience and independence only increased William's respect and admiration for her, reminding him of why he had fallen in love with her in the first place. The reunion, when it came, was stronger than ever before. Both had grown during their time apart and had a clearer understanding of their priorities and commitment to each other. They had learned valuable lessons about communication, trust, and the importance of maintaining their individual identities within their relationship. William's decision to pursue helicopter pilot training with the RAF provided another test of their relationship's strength. The demanding training schedule and the inherent dangers of military aviation meant that Kate had to cope with both separation and worry about his safety. She supported his career choices while managing her own anxiety about the risks involved. Kate's charitable work began to develop during this period, as she sought meaningful ways to use the platform that came with dating William. She was careful to choose causes that genuinely interested her and where she could make a real contribution, rather than simply lending her name for publicity purposes. This authentic approach to philanthropy would later become a defining characteristic of her public role. The couple's first official public appearance together at a friend's wedding marked a turning point in how their relationship was perceived. Kate's poise and natural beauty captured public attention, but it was her obvious happiness and the genuine affection between the couple that truly won people over. The photographs from that event showed a young woman who was clearly comfortable in her own skin and deeply in love. William's growing maturity was evident in how he handled the media attention surrounding Kate. He became more protective and strategic about their privacy, learning from his family's past experiences to better shield their relationship from unnecessary intrusion. He also began to include Kate more in his world, introducing her to his friends and involving her in his interests and activities. Kate's relationship with William's family continued to develop during this period. She formed particularly close bonds with some of William's cousins and friends, creating a support network that would prove invaluable in the years to come. Her ability to navigate complex family dynamics with grace and warmth impressed those who met her and gradually won over any skeptics. The economic downturn of 2008 provided an opportunity for Kate to demonstrate her understanding of real-world concerns and her commitment to causes that mattered to ordinary people. She began to use her growing profile to highlight issues affecting families and communities, showing a depth of understanding that went beyond her privileged background. Their relationship continued to strengthen as they faced various challenges together. Kate's unwavering support during William's difficult moments and her ability to provide perspective and comfort made her an invaluable partner. She had a gift for knowing when to offer advice and when to simply listen, a quality that William cherished. The constant speculation about engagement was both exciting and exhausting for the couple. Every public appearance was scrutinized for signs of an impending proposal, and Kate found herself fielding questions about wedding plans that didn't yet exist. She learned to deflect these inquiries with humor and grace while privately hoping that the speculation would eventually become reality. William's completion of his military training marked another milestone in their relationship. The success of his helicopter pilot certification filled Kate with pride, and she understood the importance of this achievement for his personal development and future role. She had supported him through the challenging training period, and his success felt like their shared victory. The couple began to spend more time together in various settings, from official royal functions to private family gatherings. Kate's confidence grew with each experience, and she developed the skills necessary to handle herself appropriately in any situation. Her natural warmth and genuine interest in others made her a welcome addition to any gathering. As their relationship entered its 9th year, both William and Kate had matured significantly from the university students who had first fallen in love. They had weathered storms that would have destroyed weaker relationships and emerged stronger and more committed than ever. The foundation they had built was solid enough to support whatever challenges the future might bring. The love story that had begun in the halls of St. Andrews had evolved into something deeper and more complex. It was no longer just about two young people finding love, but about a partnership that could potentially reshape the future of the British monarchy. Kate had proven herself capable of handling the pressures and responsibilities that came with loving a future king, while William had demonstrated his commitment to protecting and cherishing the remarkable woman who had chosen to share his extraordinary life. Their journey together had been marked by growth, challenges, and an unshakable commitment to each other that would soon be tested in the most public way possible as the world waited for the next chapter in their remarkable love story. The October wind whipped across the remote shores of Lake Rotundu in Kenya as Prince William's hands trembled slightly, not from the cold, but from nervous anticipation. Hidden in his backpack was a ring that had once belonged to his mother, Princess Diana, an 18-karat sapphire surrounded by diamonds that had captured the world's imagination decades earlier. After nearly 9 years together, he was finally ready to ask Catherine Middleton the question that would change both their lives forever. Kate stood beside him, marveling at the breathtaking African sunset painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. She had no idea that this romantic getaway to one of William's favorite childhood destinations was about to become the most important moment of her life. The couple had been staying in a rustic log cabin, enjoying the peace and privacy that the remote location afforded them, far from the ever-present media attention that had defined so much of their relationship. William had chosen Kenya for the proposal because it held deep personal significance for him. His father had taken him and Harry there regularly during their childhood, and it was one of the few places where he felt completely free from the weight of royal responsibility. The wild beauty of the African landscape had always brought him peace, and he wanted to share this special place with Kate as they embarked on their journey toward marriage. The timing felt perfect. Both had reached a level of maturity and understanding about their relationship and what their future together would entail. Kate had proven herself capable of handling the pressures of royal life while maintaining her independence and authenticity. William had completed his military training and was ready to take on more royal duties, and he knew he wanted Kate by his side as he stepped into this next phase of his life. As the sun began to set, William suggested they take a walk along the lakeshore. Kate wrapped herself in a warm jacket and followed him, enjoying the peaceful sounds of the African wilderness around them. Birds called from the acacia trees, and in the distance, they could hear the gentle lapping of water against the rocky shore. The moment felt magical, suspended in time, and far removed from the complexities of their regular lives. When William dropped to one knee and pulled out the iconic ring, Kate's hands flew to her mouth in shock and joy. The sight of Diana's engagement ring took her breath away, not just because of its beauty, but because of what it represented. William was not just proposing marriage. He was asking her to become part of his family's legacy and to carry forward the memory of a woman who had touched millions of lives around the world. Through tears of happiness, Kate said yes without hesitation. The 9 years they had spent together had been a journey of growth, challenges, and deepening love that had prepared them for this moment. As William slipped the ring onto her finger, both felt the weight of history and the excitement of their future together. The engagement remained secret for several more weeks while they informed their families and made careful preparations for the public announcement. Kate's parents were overjoyed, but also understood the magnitude of what lay ahead for their daughter. The Middleton family had watched Kate navigate the challenges of dating a future king with grace and strength, and they had complete confidence in her ability to handle whatever came next. When the official announcement was made on November 16, 2010, the world erupted in celebration. The news dominated headlines globally, and millions of people shared in the couple's happiness. The sight of Diana's ring on Kate's finger was particularly moving for many, symbolizing continuity and hope for the future of the monarchy. Kate's first official interview as William's fiancée revealed her natural charm and intelligence to the world. She spoke eloquently about their relationship, her excitement about the future, and her understanding of the responsibilities that lay ahead. Her composure and warmth in front of the cameras impressed even the most skeptical observers and began to change public perception of her from William's girlfriend to a future princess in her own right. The wedding planning process was unlike anything Kate could have imagined. Every detail, from the guest list to the flowers, would be scrutinized by the media and the public. She worked closely with royal wedding planners while trying to maintain some personal touches that would reflect her and William's personalities and preferences. Kate's wedding dress design became one of the most closely guarded secrets in recent history. She chose Sarah Burton of Alexander McQueen to create the gown, making a statement about supporting British fashion while ensuring the dress would be both timeless and elegant. The months of fittings and design consultations were conducted in utmost secrecy, with only a handful of people knowing the details. The pressure of planning a royal wedding while maintaining her privacy and normal life was immense, but Kate handled it with remarkable grace. She continued her charitable work and public appearances while dealing with intense media scrutiny about every aspect of the upcoming celebration. Kate's family faced their own challenges as they prepared for their daughter's transformation from commoner to princess. The Middletons had to navigate complex protocol while staying true to their own values and maintaining their close family bonds. Their dignity and grace throughout the process earned them widespread respect and admiration. The months leading up to the wedding saw an incredible outpouring of public affection for Kate and excitement about the royal wedding. Street parties were planned, commemorative items were produced, and the world seemed united in celebrating this modern fairy tale love story. William and Kate's decision to invite ordinary people to their wedding, including representatives from various charities and community organizations, reflected their desire to make the celebration inclusive and meaningful beyond just the traditional royal guest list. This choice demonstrated their understanding of the symbolic importance of their marriage to people around the world. Kate's transformation from a private individual to a public figure was remarkable to witness. She developed the skills necessary to handle media attention, public speaking, and royal protocol while never losing the authenticity and warmth that had attracted William to her in the first place. The couple's pre-wedding charity work increased significantly as they used the attention surrounding their engagement to highlight causes they cared about. Their joint appearances showed a natural partnership and shared commitment to using their platform for positive change. As the wedding date approached, the excitement was palpable not just in Britain, but around the world. Hotels in London were booked solid, and millions of people made plans to watch the ceremony on television. The wedding had become a global event that transcended normal royal celebrations. Kate's final dress fitting was an emotional moment for her and her family. Seeing herself in the completed wedding gown, knowing that in just days she would walk down the aisle of Westminster Abbey to marry the man she loved, felt surreal and overwhelming. The years of waiting, growing, and preparing had led to this extraordinary moment. The bachelor and bachelorette parties were kept relatively private, allowing William and Kate to celebrate with their closest friends before their lives changed forever. These gatherings were bittersweet, marking the end of one chapter and the beginning of another that would be lived entirely in the public eye. The rehearsals at Westminster Abbey helped calm some of Kate's nerves as she practiced walking down the long aisle and became familiar with the ceremony's timing and requirements. The historic church, where so many significant royal events had taken place, would soon witness another momentous occasion. The night before the wedding, as Kate prepared for her last evening as a single woman, she reflected on the incredible journey that had brought her to this point. From that first meeting at St. Andrews to this moment on the eve of becoming a princess, her life had been transformed in ways she could never have imagined. The love story that had captivated the world was about to reach its most public and celebrated moment. Tomorrow, millions would watch as Catherine Middleton became Catherine, Princess of Wales, and began a new chapter as one half of the monarchy's future. The shy university student had grown into a confident woman ready to take on one of the world's most challenging and visible roles, sustained by the love of the man who had waited patiently for her to join him in his extraordinary life. The stage was set for a wedding that would be remembered as one of the most beautiful and meaningful royal celebrations in modern history, marking not just the union of two people in love, but the beginning of a new era for the British monarchy. April 29th, 2011, dawned bright and clear in London, as if the weather itself wanted to celebrate the royal wedding that had captured the imagination of people around the globe. Catherine Middleton woke in the Goring Hotel, her heart racing with excitement and nervous anticipation. Today, she would marry the man she had loved for nearly a decade and step into a role that would define the rest of her life. The streets of London were already filling with well-wishers who had traveled from around the world to witness this historic moment. Union Jack flags fluttered from windows and street corners, and the atmosphere was electric with celebration. Nearly 2 billion people would watch the ceremony on television, making it one of the most viewed events in broadcasting history. In her hotel suite, Kate was surrounded by her family and closest friends as she prepared for the most important day of her life. Her sister Pippa helped with the final adjustments to her wedding dress, while her mother Carol offered quiet words of encouragement. The atmosphere was both joyful and emotional as they realized they were about to witness Kate's transformation from their beloved daughter and sister into a princess. The wedding dress, finally revealed in all its glory, was a masterpiece of British craftsmanship. Sarah Burton had created a gown that perfectly balanced tradition with modernity, featuring intricate lace sleeves, a fitted bodice, and a flowing train that would create stunning images as Kate walked down the aisle. The dress honored royal wedding traditions while reflecting Kate's personal style and grace. Prince William spent the morning at Clarence House with his brother Harry, who would serve as his best man. The brothers shared quiet moments together, reminiscing about their childhood and the journey that had brought them to this day. William's thoughts turned often to his mother Diana, wishing she could be there to see him marry the woman he loved, but finding comfort in the knowledge that Kate would be wearing Diana's engagement ring. The streets leading to Westminster Abbey were lined with millions of people, many of whom had camped overnight to secure the best viewing spots. The crowd was incredibly diverse, representing countries from around the world, all united in their excitement to witness this modern fairy tale wedding. The atmosphere was festive and joyful, with strangers sharing food and stories as they waited for the procession to begin. Kate's journey to Westminster Abbey in the glass coach was a moment of profound emotion for her. As she waved to the cheering crowds, she could see the genuine happiness and excitement on people's faces. Children held homemade signs, elderly couples smiled and waved from their wheelchairs, and the diversity of the crowd reminded her of the global significance of this day. Her father Michael sat beside her in the coach, his pride evident despite his nervous excitement about walking his daughter down the aisle in front of billions of viewers. He had watched Kate grow from a confident young girl into a remarkable woman, and he knew she was ready for the challenges and responsibilities that lay ahead. Inside Westminster Abbey, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. 2,000 guests filled the historic church, including heads of state, celebrities, and representatives from charities close to William and Kate's hearts. The guest list reflected the couple's desire to include people from all walks of life in their celebration, making it truly representative of modern Britain. When the Abbey doors opened and Kate appeared at the entrance, a collective gasp arose from the congregation. The sight of her in the stunning wedding dress, with the morning light streaming through the stained glass windows behind her, created a moment of breathtaking beauty that would be remembered forever. The walk down the aisle seemed to last forever and just an instant simultaneously. Kate's composure and grace were remarkable as she made her way past the assembled dignitaries and loved ones. Her eyes were focused on William, who waited at the altar with an expression of pure love and admiration that moved viewers around the world. William's first glimpse of Kate in her wedding dress was a moment of overwhelming emotion. Years later, he would describe how beautiful she looked and how proud he felt as she approached him. The couple had been through so much together, and seeing her walking toward him to begin their married life felt like the culmination of everything they had worked toward. The ceremony itself was a perfect blend of ancient tradition and personal touches that reflected William and Kate's personalities and values. The music, readings, and vows created a celebration that was both magnificently royal and intimately personal. Kate's voice was clear and strong as she spoke her vows, demonstrating the confidence and commitment she brought to this new role. One of the most touching moments came when William placed his grandmother's ring on Kate's finger, officially making her his wife and a member of the royal family. The symbolism of that moment, watched by millions around the world, represented not just their personal commitment, but also the continuity and future of the monarchy. The moment that would later be remembered as particularly moving was their first kiss as husband and wife on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. The crowd below erupted in cheers as William and Kate shared that brief but tender moment, and around the world, viewers felt they were witnessing something genuinely special and authentic. The images from that balcony appearance captured the essence of what made their love story so compelling. Here were two people who had found real love and commitment despite the extraordinary pressures and circumstances surrounding their relationship. Their obvious happiness and affection for each other created a moment of pure joy that transcended cultural and national boundaries. The wedding reception was an elegant affair that allowed the couple to celebrate with their closest family and friends in a more relaxed atmosphere. The speeches, particularly Prince Harry's best man speech, provided moments of humor and warmth that showed the genuine affection surrounding the couple. Kate's transformation from Catherine Middleton to Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge was complete, but what struck observers was how naturally she seemed to inhabit this new role. She had spent years preparing for this moment, and her grace and confidence reflected the strength of character that had attracted William to her in the first place. The global reaction to the wedding was overwhelmingly positive. People from different countries, cultures, and backgrounds found something to celebrate in this love story. The wedding represented hope, tradition, and the possibility of fairy tale endings even in difficult times. Street parties throughout Britain and in other countries created a sense of community and shared celebration that had become increasingly rare in modern life. Neighbors who barely knew each other gathered to watch the ceremony together, sharing food and stories while celebrating this joyous occasion. The economic impact of the wedding was significant, with tourism to Britain increasing substantially and wedding-related merchandise generating millions in revenue. However, the real value of the event lay in its ability to bring people together and create positive feelings about the future. Kate's wedding dress influenced bridal fashion for years to come, with countless brides choosing similar designs for their own special days. The combination of traditional elements with modern styling created a template for elegant, timeless wedding fashion that honored the past while looking toward the future. The charitable aspects of the wedding, including the couple's request for donations to various causes in lieu of wedding gifts, demonstrated their commitment to using their platform for positive change. This approach would continue to characterize their public work throughout their marriage. As the day drew to a close and William and Kate departed for their honeymoon, the world reflected on what they had witnessed. This had been more than just a royal wedding. It had been a celebration of love, commitment, and hope that had touched hearts around the globe. The love story that had begun with two university students sharing textbooks had culminated in one of the most beautiful and meaningful celebrations in modern history. Kate had proven herself worthy of the role she was taking on, while William had shown his commitment to choosing love and partnership over convention. The simple, powerful moment between William and Kate on that balcony, when they shared their first kiss as husband and wife before millions of viewers, represented everything that made their story special. It was authentic, joyful, and filled with the kind of genuine emotion that reminded people of the power of true love. Years later, that image would continue to move people to tears, not because it was perfect or scripted, but because it captured a moment of real human connection and joy that transcended all the pomp and ceremony surrounding it. In that brief kiss, millions saw not just a prince and princess, but two people who had found something beautiful and lasting together, and who were ready to share that love with the world. The wedding had set the stage for a marriage that would continue to inspire people around the globe, proving that fairy tales could come true and that love could indeed conquer all. The girl from Berkshire had become a princess, but more importantly, she had found her happily ever after with the man she loved, and the world had been privileged to witness their beautiful beginning.